Welcome to the Tough Decisions Network for Entrepreneurs. I'm Dan Hanford, and my wife, Danae, and I interview successful people sharing stories behind tough decisions that they've had to make along their journey as an entrepreneur.
Today on the podcast, we welcome Reed Harvey. He's an expert in sales, marketing, and online media. He also is the host of the Reed Harvey Show, a podcast that's now in its second year. So, Reed, thank you for being with us, and we're looking forward to talking with you.
Hey, I am thankful for being here.
Well, Reed, I want you to kind of talk to us a little bit about what your current focus is right now as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so I'm really working on the second season of the Reed Harvey Show. That should be coming out in a few months. You know, that has been my main focus, and I'm not going to lie, there's a side of me that's a little bit addicted to education right now. I'm currently just finished up an online bachelor's degree and then moving on to my master's. I'm trying to get it all knocked out, and yeah, it's kind of been kind of almost video game addiction to that, just as I don't know. It's kind of ironic because I wrote an ebook on why you didn't have to go to college. And then, I just thought, man, this is kind of interesting. And then I started and then I didn't want to stop. So yeah, the podcast has been fantastic. I've had a lot of really cool people on the show. A lot of people I look up to, and it's just been great.
So I want you to walk us through, as we get started here, about a tough decision that you've had to make along your journey, starting the podcast, various things like that you have had to make and, didn't necessarily have that good of an outcome, and maybe some of the lessons that you learned through that tough decision.
Yeah, so I've kind of got a lot of different things going on, as all entrepreneurs do. You usually have to just beat off the ideas because they just keep coming. But one thing I was really into is cryptocurrency at the same time that I was doing the podcast. And 99% of cryptocurrency is a lot of scams. I kind of found that out the hard way in the frenzy last year. I invested in some really risky stuff and I got deeper and deeper and deeper because I started making a good amount of money with Bitcoin, and then I started making more money with altcoins, and then I got into the deep dark cryptocurrency journey, and I started something called masternodes, which 99% of crypto enthusiasts don't even know what they are. And I got in a little over my head, and the lesson I learned was only invest in things that you just really, really understand. As I ended up losing a good amount of money. I got hacked, and I was all my own fault. So, just don't get greedy and just stick with what you know. Whenever I've invested in things that I don't know about completely, and I have to rely on other people's understanding and not my own gut feeling, that's when I get myself into trouble. So yeah, I completely got hacked.
And that's one of the things that I hear a lot too, about, not like I hear a lot of people getting hacked, but I hear that's one of the main concerns with cryptocurrency is the possibility of being hacked. So what have you done, obviously going through being hacked? Obviously you're still a supporter and you still love Bitcoin. What do you do now to mitigate that risk of not being hacked in the future?
Yeah, there's nothing like a bad experience to be a great teacher. I even had a guy, just to preface this, I even had a guy on my podcast that his name's Ian Bellina. He actually became an insane crypto influencer to the point his opinion was so strong they would call it the Bellina effect, because it would actually shift markets. And he made $5 million in less than a year. And he was on my show, and he got hacked for $2 million. He lost $2 million.
Holy moly.
Yeah, so that was a bad day. It made the news and everything. So, world crypto news. So the thing is, we both did the same. We both made the same mistake. And the mistake, crypto is as secure as you could ever get. It's human error and stupidity that gets you into trouble. So, especially, in my personal opinion, Bitcoin is as secure as you can get. The Bitcoin blockchain has never, ever been hacked, right? People try to hack it every day, and it's never been hacked. What in cryptocurrency you have that is essentially, to make it simple, is your password to unlock your account. So just to make it simple for the audience, imagine you have Bitcoin in an account. It doesn't work exactly like that, but essentially if someone has this long password, this randomly generated password, they can control your funds. So they can send them to whatever account, and most of the time it's, insanely anonymous and hard to track. So, it's digital cash. So just like if you had a duffel bag full of cash and someone stole it, you're probably not going to get it back. So anyway, what happened was I got into trouble because I was dealing with some technology that I didn't know about. And the thing is this technology is so fresh, it's not like you can just go downtown and find a developer that knows how to work on it. It's so cutting edge, there's only a handful of people that know how to do this stuff. So I got essentially baited into someone helping me. This is so bad. I wrote an article about this, about the worst mistake in cryptocurrency that you can possibly make. I showed someone my private key, which is your password, for his help, and he remotely accessed my computer because I just was in a panic and I got my hands tied. And I already thought the funds were lost, and so I needed someone's help. And he essentially cleaned me out. Well, he actually programmed my computer, so as soon as I went to cash my coins out and sell them, that action would redirect to his account. So I definitely learned the hard way. And then my friend who was on the show, that 2 million, he left his password online, which is a big no-no. In the world of crypto, the only thing you have to do is not show your private key and get that offline. You get it onto offline, and then you're safe. And so he did a lot of world traveling, and so during a live stream that he was doing, one of his viewers told him that, there were some funky trades going on, and he did some research and he got clean. So what I learned was, don't get greedy about, technology that you don't fully understand, and don't panic and make bad decisions. And
so did you lose anywhere close to the 2 million that your friend lost?
No, I lost in I will say it was thousands, but it was not millions. So that's good. I didn't make the news. He did.
Yeah. Well, let's shift here a little bit and talk about a tough decision that you had that had a really good and positive outcome, and some of the lessons you learned through that one.
Yeah. Let's make the shift. I've mourned the loss of that, so I've accepted it. Yeah, so I would have to say one of the best decisions ever was really starting that podcast, because it just opened the doors to so many connections. And the thing was I remember talking with a friend, and I said, man, I've been listening to podcasts for years. Just love them so much. I just believe in the connection between the hosts and the audience, and just there's so many advantages of having a podcast. You connect with your audience so well, they trust you. And so I was talking to him about it, and I said I would love to have my own. And he's like, you know what, you would be a really good podcast host. And that really encouraged me. It meant a lot. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go in and I'm going to cold email 2 people that I just think are fantastic. And one of them was this huge podcaster / he's on DirecTV's channel. He also has a series on Netflix. His name's Sam Jones. Have you heard of Sam Jones? He has a program called Off Camera with Sam Jones. I don't know if you've heard of him or not.
No, I haven't heard of him.
I haven't either.
Yeah, he's got 3 seasons on Netflix where he's just the master of interviews. And not only is he that, but he is a award-winning photographer and director. I mean, I'm telling you, if you Google Sam Jones pictures, guy is so connected to everyone in Hollywood. He just has interviewed everyone on his show, and he's just a super nice guy. He was just a huge influence. So I emailed him and emailed another guy that I knew was just a master affiliate marketing for, one of the best digital online products that you could sell online. I cold emailed both of them, and Sam got back to me. And I'm like, what in the world? That just blew my mind. That he'd get back to me and he said, yeah, that sounds fun. Send me a couple episodes of your show. And I didn't have a show. So I emailed him back, honestly, I don't quite have a show yet, but I can record it. And then from that point on, I didn't hear from him again for 18 months until I came back with like 25 or 26 episodes and said, hey, I talked to you a year and a half ago. I have a full season, and he said, okay, let's do it. And then the second guest that I cold emailed, I had to pitch him hard. First, he didn't want to do it, and then I got him, and turned out we happened to be decent buds after that. So I would definitely recommend starting a podcast.
So what are some strategies that you use to make these difficult decisions that you're making on a pretty regular basis now?
I mean, it's weird. I'm probably 50% entrepreneur, 50% artist dreamer. I'm not 100% purebred. I know an entrepreneur fully 100%. You guys are entrepreneurs. I listened to your podcast. It's amazing. I loved episode 0. My father, he's an entrepreneur 100%. I have a little bit of dreamer in me, and so I tend to de-stress my life and live a very simple life. So I invest in simple businesses, simple things you can train your employees, like cleaning businesses, security businesses, vending machine businesses, because I like low stress. So it's my goal to but minimize those tough decisions completely. And so my strategy is look for low stress cash flow diversification, and investments that I understand. I like real estate, crypto, because I understand it. I mean, not the deep stuff, but I understand Bitcoin, just investments that I do understand. And, like I said, I tend to minimize stress as much as possible. And the thing is, I mean, it's terrible, and I think you guys mentioned this on episode 0, but find your other half and understand your strengths so that you don't have to make the big decisions. You can have someone help you come to that conclusion when you have to make it. And, I kind of like to be the good cop. I like to be, let the property manager make the decision, who you have to evict and who you don't. I like to delegate that because I know that's not my strength is not being the technical and the.
There's no question that, we're all good at different things, and finding, someone else who's good at the things you're weak at is definitely a big help.
Exactly.
With those difficult decisions too, because, it's nice to have two people that are on the same page and can come to some kind of consensus.
Oh,
it's good for me to have somebody like Danae because, I'm the good cop. She's the bad cop. Right?
Exactly. And you totally need that.
And I'm totally fine with that too. So
I know, and that's perfect. That's what makes a great team. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's important for people to be honest with themselves, to kind of stand back and say, what am I not good at? And it's good, I think, to, always improve your entire personality, your entire, self. But at the same time, you have to, there's things that you're going to be naturally so much better at. And it's almost a waste of time to sit there and develop that side of you. It'd be easier just to hire somebody.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I mean, we should always be improving, but you're right. Recognizing the things that are just not your strength and finding someone who can do those is definitely makes things more efficient for sure. All right, we're going to take a quick break and hear from one of our show sponsors. When we come back, we'll talk to Reed about his favorites as they relate to his life as an entrepreneur.
Have you ever thought about investing in real estate, but find yourself so busy that you don't have time for it? Do you have FOMO, which is the fear of missing out? At HanfordCapital.com, we help investors with passive real estate investments that project better returns than traditional investment vehicles such as the stock market. If you'd like to find out more about our passive real estate investments, visit HanfordCapital.com. That's HANDFORD capital.com. We will jump on a call with you to discuss your investment goals and to see if our investments are a good fit for you. This advertisement is not to be construed as an offer or recommendation to buy or sell a security. Visit hanfordcapital.com. All right, we are back and we're talking to Reed Harvey, and I want to go through what we call a series of quick questions and answers called the trifecta. And to start us off, let's talk about your most favorite technology that you use in business that helps make your life easier.
Apple products. Just my iPhone and my Mac. I'm sorry, I wish I could give you something better than that.
Well, it's interesting because you're not the only one that says that. I probably say a good 20-30% say that their iPhone or their smartphone is one of the most favorite things that they have.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at my apps real quick. The thing is that nothing beats Apple's Notepad. It's the fastest. I'm all about the fastest way to get to a notepad, and nothing beats the notepad on the Apple.
So what is a favorite quote that you've heard that's helped you as an entrepreneur?
Never tell anyone your plans. I know that sounds so cliche, but it is probably helped me the most in my life because I don't even think my parents know I'm getting my master's. I just, you should just go for it because there will always be someone to plant doubt in your mind and hold you back. There's so many things I would have done earlier had I not listened to anyone. I know that's such cliche advice, but listen to your own gut and don't tell anybody what you're doing. Just do it. And it's the greatest feeling ever when they go, oh, you shouldn't do that, yada, yada. And then you say, oh, I already did. It's one of my favorite things ever.
And what's a favorite book that you've read?
I love the E-Myth. I don't know if you've looked into the E-Myth. It explains that to be a really good entrepreneur, you need 3 essential functions. You need to be an entrepreneur, the dreamer, so to speak, the one that actually creates the ideas. You need a manager, the one who's going to organize everything. And then you need a technical person that's actually going to get the job done. And that has really helped me analyze my personality, that I'm the dreamer and the organizer, that I'll come up with all the ideas and I'll clean the shop and I'll have the desktop organized. But dang it, do I need to focus and I need that technical person to help me focus and actually get to work. So I love that book, The E-Myth.
What's the next thing for you right now, Reed, on your vision or dream board, if you want to tell us?
Honestly, it's probably I'm just excited about a handful of things. The podcast is great. It's super exciting who you meet and the relationships you develop, and there's nothing cooler than that. Honestly, for some reason, I'm just addicted to this education right now. I just think it's so fun. It feels like a productive video game to me to beat. And then I'm super still into Bitcoin and always looking for the passive income wherever I can find it, and just really trying to continue to build up, cash flow positive businesses.
Well, Reed, how can the listeners reach out to you if they want to start to follow you and get more information about you?
So I'm on Twitter all the time. At Reed Harvey Show is my handle, my Twitter handle. ReedHarveyShow.com will be updated when the second season of the podcast comes out, and I'm really excited the next guest we're going to have because this first season was awesome. Met some great people, some really inspiring people that I'll never forget. So, I'm just, life is good. So it's really hard to, even pick something. I'm just, you should just, a person should just enjoy all aspects of their life and set goals. Just keep yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally built up and eliminate anything that brings you down. And if you are set there, you'll be excited about life. So, that's kind of where I'm at. There's just so much to be happy about,
Well, Reed, I want to thank you so much for taking some time to be on the podcast with us today. You've been great, and look forward to having you on a future episode as you continue to grow as an entrepreneur.
Hey, thank you so much, you guys. I did check out your podcast, and it's fantastic. You both have voices meant for radio, so it all sounds great.
Well, thank you so much, Reed. We hope you have a good rest of your day.
Hey, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Tough Decisions Network. Be sure to visit toughdecisions.net to gain access to show notes for this episode and to join our free weekly entrepreneur email where we will send you news about the latest technology for your business, inspiring quotes, and the latest books for entrepreneurs. That's toughdecisions.net.